Hey everyone, it's Melanie. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about ironing in quilting. Pressing, ironing, starch. Do I need starch? Should I not use starch? Should I use steam? Should I not use steam? What kind of iron should I pick? It's all very confusing. It's so confusing. And this is one of the big aha moments that my students get when I teach quilting and I have my online courses, and when we're going through all this stuff. This information is one of those things that everyone's like, oh, there's like all these little tips and things that I'm going to share today with you on YouTube, and hopefully it will sort of help you figure out what you want to do and what you should do or should not do when you are ironing or pressing your quilt projects. First off, let me just tell you that I am not the quilt police. I'm not going to tell you that you should or shouldn't do something specifically and tell you that's bad, don't do that, or anything like that. I know lots of people who do lots of different things that love this over here and love to do that, and seriously, it is personal preference. I'm going to share a bunch of the different things, and you should try them out and decide for yourself what you like. I'll give you some of the information, some of the things to watch out for and the things that you really want to avoid doing, like distorting your fabric. That's the biggie. So a lot of people don't like to use steam with their irons because if you press down on your fabric and you're rubbing it along, and it just can kind of create a mess with all that steam, and then the fabric can kind of get stretched out and get all crazy. You don't want that, okay? So I actually do use steam, but when you're using steam, you want to press it down, lift it up, move it over, press it down, lift it up. Don't run it along your fabric and be super heavy-handed and harsh with it. You want to kind of go easy on it. And there are certain things that you don't want to use steam for. Very delicate things, or super thin fabric, loosely woven types of fabrics. You would probably be better off using starch. And that's kind of going to my next thing. Everybody asks me, what's the best starch? What's the best starch? I don't care. I do not have a favorite. I've used them all. I like them all. They're all fine to me. I used to make my own starch, and the only downside with that is just doing cornstarch and water is that it can get a little flaky if you make it too strong, which didn't really bother me because I wash all my quilts anyway when I'm done making them. But that's the only downside to that. I've used Faultless. I've just been using this Quilters Starch Savvy just to try them out, to tell you guys which one was the best, and literally there wasn't a best to me. So that's the same thing. You should try them out and see which one you like the best. Best Press is the one that gets the most rave reviews. I do like it. I don't dislike it, but these other ones are fine too. Try them out and go with what you like. Using starch when you're quilting can really help to kind of keep everything together when you're ironing, and you can use a dry iron when you're using starch. There's no need to use steam because it's already kind of getting your fabric a little bit damp. But the same kind of thing, if you're getting your fabric a little damp with some starch, be careful as you're pressing it because you don't want it to distort. That's the big thing. Across the board, you don't want your fabric distorting. The other question I get all the time is, what's the best iron? My iron broke, what iron should I get? And my advice is always to get the very cheapest iron you possibly can find because they all break. I've had really nice irons and it broke. They just don't make things that last more than a few years now, it seems. So I find one that has a big plate. This is the one I currently have. I look for the one that has a really big plate. If I want to do any more fine ironing, I like to get one of those little irons. I don't do a ton of that kind of style of quilting, so this is just fine for me. I think I bought it on, I think it was at Target for $30 or $35. And I'm going to use it until it breaks, and then I'm going to go back and buy another $30 iron. So I've never used the Oliso irons, which I've heard really good things about, but I've never used it. I'm afraid to buy an expensive iron because they break. I've gone through probably 4 or 5 irons since I've been quilting. So that's another personal preference. Try it out. Read the reviews online. See what you kind of like if you have a coupon or something like that. And my advice is always to buy the cheapest one. You do want to use distilled water. I have hard water in my neighborhood, so I do try to remember to use distilled water, and that will really help keep all the insides clean. But other than that, get the cheap one. People are always so surprised when I say, "Hey, you want to like press the fabric." It's like ironing versus pressing. It's like, oh, that's what that term comes from, is because you want to press it down and just be really careful when you're ironing. It can get really frustrating after you have pieced your quilt together, and then if you iron it kind of willy-nilly and go crazy on it, then it can kind of mess some stuff up. So it is something that, even though it seems like a really silly and a trivial process and a part of the quilting process, it really is important. So that's all for today. Quick Tip Tuesday. How to press iron your quilt, what starch to use, what kind of iron to get. Leave me any comments below with any questions. If you love like beginner quilting kind of stuff, you could check out my free mini course, which is 5 daysquilting.com. It's my 5 days to better quilting course. There's all kinds of like really beginner, great like tips and tricks, and it's totally free. So you can check that out. I will have it linked below as well. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.